Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Inside Lion Athletics. I'm Charlie Chitwood. We get to start out with the boss man today, Jim Curry.
Oh, I didn't realize I was first out the gate. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, right off the bat, we wanted to go to the important stuff. It was a really busy week last week. We didn't see you anywhere on the road. That's because the Lions were kind of busy here. You got shovels to order, I understand.
Yeah, so we've got some shovels to order now. Yeah, we do. A massive announcement about the event center. It's exciting. You could tell from the reaction that there was some, there was a little bit of, I think, a positive release in that regard. I've kind of learned that that's maybe been a discussion for a little bit now. And I think now to kind of see it coming into fruition and coming into form is exciting for folks, and it's exciting for the entire university.
Once all the regents voted to approve the funding thing, the final funding budget for the arena, big exhale. A lot of people worked on this for a long time.
Long time. I mean, and long before I got here too. I mean, so let's acknowledge the folks that did some work in advance, but. Certainly a couple folks in particular to give a shout out to, and that's President Rudin and our CFO, University CFO, Tina Livingston. I mean, just the amount of work and just pure will and determination to get this thing done. And, anytime you got a project of this size and scope, it's going to go through a process, right?
Sure.
And there's a number of ways along the way where it could have gotten off track or gotten delayed or gotten derailed completely, right? And that happens from time to time, some for really legitimate reasons. But, credit to the leadership and all the people working behind the scenes with them, and obviously here in athletics as well, to just continue to drive and push forward on that and work through it. And great partners at the system as well. So I just think everybody was working together on this one and to make it happen. And so it's going to – and again, we got the announcement out, and we've been really careful with kind of a more formal declaration of this, obviously. But the amount of work that's been going on, I mean, this is a project – I'm getting close to going on 2 years now. And this has been a day one project since I've been here. It's gone through multiple iterations and part of the process. But, I mean, we're going to be moving ground here this spring. I mean, yeah. So
100% of the work of the architects is done. Is that?
No, we're not all the way done yet. I mean, we're down to the finer points, of course. I mean, I was in a meeting yesterday, and there were some minor tweaks to it. But we're kind of in the look and feel part of it now. The FF furniture and branding and those types of things, and really trying to get into those finer points. We know seat count. We know just what the plaza will look like around there. Again, if you drive up here right now, there's a fence right next to the CVS. A construction fence set up for the Buffalo Wild Wings. So we've been thinking about the interplay between all the buildings over there as well, whether that be the Whitley Hall parking lot, trying to design, and this is probably a little bit of a phase 2 now, but, a walking pedestrian promenade that kind of leads to the front door of the building.
Will it face 24 or will it face
the design, right? Well, it's the front door of it right now has a north orientation back towards campus. So there's these.
Look at Cooper.
So when you saw the pictures the other day, you kind of saw the front facade there, and there's it's all glass walls on that side when you're in the building, and so when you look back towards out of the building, you look back towards Whitley and campus and the Wild Wings and the plaza, and so there's some other retail that's kind of programmed for that space in the future as well. So there's a lot more to this project too that's happening, but this is obviously the centerpiece of it.
And it's going to hold how many bodies and I know it can be configured differently for graduation where you're using the floor space for seating, but what's the bowl going to seat?
Yeah, it'll seat about 3,000. And so what will happen is there's going to be probably 4 or 5 rows. I can't remember the exact number, but that retract on the ground level. So there will still be a fixed seating bowl around the top and allow for additional floor space on the bottom there. So really, then there's also the end stage. There's an end stage configuration where one end of the the end zone will retract all the way back, so you could do an end stage configuration for concert, speaker, graduation, those types of things. So really, as you're probably kind of listening here and hearing about it, we're trying to think about this facility really being a 365 facility, and really be a rally point for the region, and all types of events. So academic events, trade shows, conventions, symposiums, graduation, athletics, you name it, we want to host it there. And so we feel like this is the premier event center in the Northeast Texas region, as far east all the way to Longview, Marshall, Texarkana, north up to Paris and Bottom, and bring it all the way down to south of here. So it's just, we want to bring it all here to Commerce.
Could pro wrestling be coming to Commerce?
Maybe that's our 15th sport.
It could be. This is so exciting. It really is.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, you get it from paper to turning dirt to watching stuff go up.
Yeah.
And did I not see, or did you not say in an earlier time talking about this, it was a 20-month build out?
Yeah. So right now they're anticipating about a 20-month build. So I mean, we'll see, kind of like the Ag Center right now, where, again, if you haven't driven up 24 recently, there's a massive structure coming out of the ground.
Yes, there is.
On the right-hand side headed towards campus, and with the Ag multi-ag complex there. And so there's going to be a lot going on. So when you think about that footprint now, you've got, obviously, Whitley there. It was Whitley and CVS. That was it. Mm-hmm. Now it's Whitley, CVS.
I remember it was just Whitley.
Well, there you go. Exactly. Yeah. It wasn't that long ago, right?
Yeah.
Wild Wings, Event Center, the hospital, Hunt Regional's got a urgent care clinic there. And then behind that is where the Ag multi-purpose complex is. And then across the street from there, just a little further south on 24, is the Game Bird Research Center. So, I mean, it's just, this is on the heels of getting the Welcome Center done. So again, things moving around all over the place at the university. So
what great stuff.
It's incredible.
And then on top of all that, and we can't go into all the details on this because somebody else has to release some of them, but it appears that all the boxes that the Lions would have to check off in a 4-year span can now be checked off in 3 years, and possibly we'll know, like in July, if by June 1 we're a full-fledged D1 member.
Yeah, so reclass process
what's
update.
Up?
What's going on there?
Easy way to say it.
So as we were getting ready to go through the board vote on Thursday last week to then kind of formalize the event center, the day before on Wednesday, there was a meeting with all the reclass institutions to talk through kind of next steps coming out of the the NCAA convention in January, where they created this new process. And I think where we left off the conversation here on Inside Line Athletics was we needed some more detail, right? Yeah. And everybody needed some more detail. And after talking to all the other schools, everybody needed a lot more detail in terms of what that process would look like, what the new benchmarks and metrics would be, how to satisfy those, and what have you. So we had that meeting Wednesday. They basically gave us till this week to notify them of, hey, do you want to avail yourselves of this new process, with the understanding, too, and we talked about this previously, you're now deciding, are you going this process track, and which will have more requirements to it, but obviously the potential of a shorter timeline, or do you want to stay on this, your current track, where you've kind of got a little bit of a date certain and the process, and there's probably a little less rigor to it at this point in time. Well,
and not to think that there's any issue with the process, but if you don't make it, if you go for 3 but you come up short, don't you just take 4?
You could go 4, yeah, and you could go 5. And you could go 6, and you could go 7, right? So you got the plan. You got a little bird in hand right now, obviously, on the 4-year process,
right?
But you've got big risk, big reward, the other route. So the first step in this process was to evaluate where we were relative to the new objective metrics that basically relate back to financial and academics. And so we needed to dig in and make sure we were good there. And so the long and short is we are. We have confirmed with the NCAA that we meet all the academic and financial benchmark to avail ourselves of the 3-year process. And so that's obviously a huge accomplishment in and of itself. I think it speaks a lot to when we talk about the increased investment from our donors, our supporters, and then the university side as well. That's helping us get there. There's no doubt about it. We couldn't have done it without them. So, and then when we talk about what we're seeing on the academic side and hitting some of those academic benchmarks as well, again, we know we've got some good academic outcomes contemporaneously. We knew we had some lagging data that wasn't capturing the full spirit of that, and so we kind of had to put it all together and hit this. And again, we felt like we could, but until you get all the details, you don't know for sure. But now we know for certain that we do.
So, what's been the biggest surprise that would put us in this eligible category to do it in 3? Because weren't we? I mean, the money was probably never going to be a deal killer.
No.
But the academic side, you've got to have programming and structure and support, and then it's up to the kids to come up with the grades you need to be in there.
Correct. Yeah, you've got a program, you've got to support, and then you got to execute on that end of things, right? And you're talking about an elevated level of competition, both on the playing surface and demands that come with that. But frankly, with what's going on at the university right now, you got elevated competition in the classroom.
Yes.
I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So all that to, again, we felt really good about the investment that we had made, particularly on the scholarship side. There's a certain threshold number comparatively against the rest of the NCAA that you have to meet from a scholarship perspective in order to meet this 3-year benchmark. We blew past that. I mean, which is a great thing. And so, again, we talk about impact of donor giving. We talk about impact of additional support from the university. I mean, we saw it manifest there perfectly, so it's great. And then, again, with the data. So we've got APR data in particular that is, kind of lagging. It's 2 years old, basically.
An APR, academic
performance
rating.
Yeah. So sometimes it takes a year or two for the data to catch up to what's happening contemporaneously on the ground.
Yeah.
So we had to go back, scrub that data a little bit, and coming out the backside of that, we were able to hit all the requisite benchmarks there. And so, again, we knew we felt really good about it. But, yeah, again, until you get into the detail and get into the weeds of it, and, again, that was a piece that was actually added at the convention. So when we kind of got a little bit of the, preliminary view of this back in the fall, the APR stuff actually wasn't even part of the consideration. Wow. So we kind of had to
extra surprise.
Yeah, we basically had to work in real time to get all that information together because, again, if we went through the normal process we were on, then APR wasn't even a consideration. So for us, we hadn't really focused so much on the APR per se. We had been focused on real-time outcomes in the classroom that, again, would portend for or translate into success there. But now, once we knew that was a consideration, we dug in on that since the convention the last few weeks and made sure that we had that in the best position to put forward to the NCAA, and it hit everything we needed to hit.
Okay, last question, because everything's going to get just squeezed in together. Do you have everybody you need to check all these boxes between now and June 1 when you got to turn in your homework?
Yeah, so I guess we left out the cliffhanger on this, the important part on it. So we've now indicated to the NCAA that we want to pursue this path. They have to come back and approve that to be able to pursue the path. So that's why this isn't, this is a little bit of inside baseball and what's going on process-wise, but this is not an official declaration of that we're going there. But again, we feel good about it. But again, we need to get approved for that. So that's the next step that's going to happen this week. And then once we get the formal, assuming we get a formal approval for that, then what we will do is we would basically take a year and a half's worth of work and smash it into 4 months. And not only that, because that was on the old track. Not only that, they've added additional requirements now on top of that you also have to meet as well. So not only are we going to take the year and a half worth of work and smash it into 4, but we're going to add the other stuff. And so, we're starting today 11 straight days of home games across Alliant Athletics, including multiple double headers and a quadruple header on Saturday this weekend, mind you, right? Yep. And in the meantime, too, we've got people working all across the university on this process to start working towards this, again, with anticipation and hope that we'll get approved to move forward with it. And, again, we should know that, I would say, within any time, frankly.
Wow.
So we'll get so there'll be more to come there. So this will probably be a topic for next week as well as we get more information. But needless to say, I think the headline is we know we meet the metrics, the objective metrics to proceed forward. We're going to pursue that path. We're waiting on the formal approval of that intention or declaration. And in the meantime, we are already putting the framework in work, and frankly have been for the last 3 weeks coming out of convention. To be able to meet all these deadlines. But I mean, the 400-page report that I talked about previously, the self-study, previously due May 15, now due March 15. All right.
Double space 400 pages.
Right.
Do whatever you do. You remember.
Yeah. Peer review team visit that was supposed to take place next fall, first week in April now. Academic data review occurring concurrently at the same time as all that going on. Responding back to peer review team visit and data review in late April in anticipation for May. It's just all this stuff kind of happening. Again, core guarantees for NCAA, which we've put a lot of investment in. Again, people are always asking, what are we going to do about facilities? We got to get the core NCAA core guarantees investment done first, then we'll get to that.
Right.
And also increase what we were doing on the scholarship side, which, again, helped us, now in great hindsight, in the benefit of hindsight, helped us immensely in this evaluation. So feel great about the work that's being done. Feel incredible about the investment that's been made. I hope people are seeing the impact of that. That investment is translating now in real time in this opportunity. We'll be send Red Bulls and Mountain Dews, or no, send Red Bulls and some type of Cokes or whatever this way because we need it.
Well, why don't we just have some bold gold and celebrate afterwards? I think that's the idea.
We'll do that too.
That states it very well because this is, it's a bold move. You get an opportunity like this. Do you know how many of the other 5 in our class are making this same?
So I know one for certain. So we've got 6 kind of in our cohort year right now, because if you include St. Thomas, who's reclassing from D3, and they're actually in year 4 of a 5-year process. So we know that us and Southern Indiana are going to pursue the other 4. I don't know for certain. I feel pretty confident that at least 2 of them will go for it. I've been so confident that I actually haven't had much conversation with them about it because I kind of knew where they were. And then there's 2 that I just don't know at this point.
Okay, last question about it, because I know you got some of it you need to save. But of all the things that we have to do, what are we least prepared to turn our homework in on yet? Is there anything that presents a real challenge?
In terms of what we have to do, I would say no.
It's just get all the reports and.
Yep. Yeah. And again, part of it, remember, there's a self-study process to this. And as I've explained to the group, the self-study, you don't have to answer all the questions in the affirmative. You part of the process is to identify where you may have a procedural or process gap, and then what is your plan to fix that?
Okay.
In the near term, right? And so that's part of the broader peer team evaluation as well. So what'll be different, I think, for us, as we go through this expedited process, is where we could benefit from time to be able to rectify some of those, self-identified procedural gaps or process gaps or what have you, or just areas for improvement too. Doesn't mean you're deficient. It just you could be better.
Right. Absolutely.
Then benefit of time maybe on a 4-year track than 3, but that doesn't mean that the work is any less impactful or valuable as it would be on that. So
you just get to rest less. You
get a little bit more rest. Yeah. So again, I feel good about. I feel obviously. I think we would not have pursued the expedited track if we didn't have some measure of confidence that we could meet the new timeline and process. Now, again, there's going to be more rigor to it. It's not a slam dunk. and again, the caveat here in this entire conversation for the last 10 minutes is that, we still have to get the formal approval to proceed, as does every other reclass school. But at the same time, too, like, I was talking about this the other day, like, we want to compete. We want to compete at the highest level, and that's just not on the playing surface. That's what we're doing in the classroom. That's how we operate. That's what we're doing from a mindset perspective. That's what we're doing here, and I think this conversation, this decision, this pursuit is entirely consistent with that desire to not only compete, but compete at the highest level.
Great stuff. Man, we could go on forever, but we can't.
We can't.
You got to go to work.
There's a lot going on. Well, yeah, there's a lot going on this
right.
weekend. So a couple highlights from the weekend for the upcoming weekend as well. So quadruple header Saturday, including 2 Big Ten softball teams here in Commerce, Texas.
Cool.
Again, so talking about the platform, Division I athletics, and really rallying this region and bringing just bringing things here to help build our local economy, right? Iowa Rutgers here, doubleheader basketball before that, so we've got it all spaced. We got your whole Saturday set.
Hey, you got the 55
Day,
national champion basketball team being recognized.
We are going to recognize the 55 team. A little bit of unfortunate news we got yesterday. Glenn's not going to be able to make it.
Oh, no.
So we're going to go up and see him soon, but we're still going to recognize the squad and have some displays out to acknowledge that group. But, yeah, he gave us a note yesterday just saying he wasn't going to be able to make it due to just a little bit of unforeseen some just stuff he's working through. So, again, we're going to go up and see him, which would be great.
Awesome.
And then, softball weekend. We got the robotics this weekend as well. So BattleBots.
Did you watch that on TV when they used to have that? That was great, yeah.
Heck yeah.
It was the flat ones with the spike that would always win. It was just
we got the video out kind of showing what's going on there, and so that's good. And, great partnership with College of Engineering and athletics to come together on this and trying to bring in some youth groups that have got the technology focus and working with the REC on that. And so, so we're really excited about that partnership. And College of Engineering has always been great for us. And so, again, bringing it all together, right? Bringing it together as a university. And then, I'm gonna tease a big research celebration tomorrow for the university. So I hope some people, if they've got an invite to that, can attend. But also pay attention to maybe an announcement coming out of there. So there's some big things happening at the university as well. And so it's like it's big news bomb after another, I feel like right now, but all pretty positive. So
great time to be aligned, isn't it?
Hey, great time to be aligned, but all gas, no brakes. We got to keep going.
All right, man. Folks, thanks a lot. Hey, Jim's been with us. We've talked and we could keep going, but we got coaches lined up that are waiting to be a part of this as well.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
Go Lions.
See you at the game.
Yes, sir.
All right. Jim's got to go to work.
All right. Take care.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Inside Lion Athletics. Long chat with Jim. Boy, there's a lot of exciting stuff, Coach. But your basketball team's one of them, too. Back-to-back dubs, and you did it on the road this last week. Congratulations. And now what?
Thanks, Charlie. Last week was much needed, for our kids mainly. It was a good weekend for us. Going into McNeese, we knew we needed to, get it together and, try to pull out a couple to get back up into, maybe trying to make the conference tournament. So, both wins were great for us. I think pulled us into a 3 or 4 way tie at 8th right now.
All right, that win at Nichols on Thursday a week ago, that was probably the bigger of the two, at least just based off of standings.
Right.
But that's good for your team's head the rest of the way. What got them over the hump?
I don't have the full answer on that. I think just, talking about it and just sticking to what we've been doing. I thought at some point we would be able to, hold off somebody's run, which we were finally able to at McNeese in the third quarter, and then, pull our lead a little bit further out, and I think our kids were comfortable in our game plan and what we were trying to do.
You're a little bit shorthanded up front, especially. Not like Dak is out for a while, and you've had to patch things together. Trinity Moreland picking up minutes up there as well. That's, she's got really good hands. I mean, she doesn't miss much at point blank range.
No, she doesn't. Trin gave us huge minutes at Nichols on Saturday. I think she played 20 minutes. Alva was in some foul trouble. And Trin was in foul trouble too, but, we were able to go to her. And Nichols played super big, so I didn't feel like we could play Jazz at the 5 at that point. So we kind of went a little bit bigger, Jazz, Jamie, and Trin at the same time. More so for defensive purposes. And Trin was great. She came in, did what she needed to do. She got us a couple ORBs, put back in a foul there when, they were kind of making a run and, she got an ORB and put it back and got fouled. So that was great. But she's able to do what we need her to do, and I thought stretching her 20 minutes, that's what I've been waiting for. How did she feel afterwards? I'm sure y'all talked a little bit about that. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I just told her I was super proud of her. I thought it was in her. Obviously she's got to be given the chance and the opportunity to do it. And I think she felt good. I think she knows what she's capable of. She's just got to be able to be consistent. Nothing wrong with that. All right. Got a little game this evening, and it's Len Bishop and the SFA Lady Jacks coming in. He knows his way around the building, but not necessarily his team. They were tough against your squad down in Nacogdoches. Yeah, I mean they were on fire. They couldn't miss a shot, and we couldn't make a shot. So it was that was a long night down there for us. Hopefully we will have that turned around tonight. They press a lot. They want to speed the game up. So I mean we had open looks. We had threes. We had layups. We had we had really good shots. We just did not make one. It was 8-6 at the first time out in the first quarter, which, the first 5 minutes were very crucial for us, and I thought that they were a great 5 minutes. After that, we couldn't hit a shot, and they stretched their lead. So, Coach, and you were a player, so you go up against a team twice in conference play like this, and the first time it just doesn't go your way at all, and you shouldn't have gotten beaten by that many points. Is it easier to get up for the rematch, or if you're the team that had an easier time than expected, are you worried about overlooking your opponent? I mean, I think it could go both ways. I mean, for me as a competitor, if I was on the losing team, I'd be 100% ready to go, and I don't know. I mean, I know our kids are ready to go. We've prepared and planned, our game plan in and everything. So again, not putting pressure on them at all, but, these are, the last 7 games are, they hold a lot of weight for us. That they do. They hold, and that weight's not quite so heavy lifting as it was before those 2 games you won on the road when you were without anybody behind you. Right, that's right. What else you got on Saturday afternoon? It won't be SFA. It'll be Lamar coming in. Right. Yeah, I mean, we have our next 4 games. We have 3 of the top 4 in the league. So, it's just one game at a time for us, one day at a time, focusing on SFA tonight. We'll get to Lamar. Lamar's, playing really well still. They're both really good teams. We're going to have to be, ready from the tip, and we're going to have to play our best basketball both days. Okay. Well, you know what, folks, you can come out and see that best basketball. Women 6:30 tip-off this evening, Thursday, against SFA. And then on Saturday afternoon, it will be we starting at noon again? That's correct. Early start. See if we can wake them up. See if we wake up the radio guy. Anyway, noon Saturday, and that'll be part of a doubleheader with the men going up against Lamar afterwards. And then the week's action rounds out on Monday evening when SFA's Lumberjacks come and pay us a visit, take on the men. That game, Avi, is that one at 6? 6:30 on that one, too. Love having cheat sheets just standing around the room. Isn't it great, Coach? It is. All right. Well, hey, let's lines up. Good luck tonight. And, folks, thanks, Charlie. We'll see you at the ball game. Hey, we're back with more Lion Athletics, Inside Lion Athletics. Have head coach Jaret von Rosenberg right here with me now. Coach, tough time out on the road, but a chance to go 1-0 again coming up on Saturday and then on Monday.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be tough going to Nichols and McNeese, two of the top teams in our league, on the road. We led at halftime in both games. Played well for long stretches in those games. That's 7 out of our last 9 that we've led at halftime. So we've got to got to play a better second half. Our opponents have a lot to do with that. I think our guys are really trying to execute a game plan, and we're really doing a good job on the defensive side in first half. But I think rebounding's been the one thing that if we'd have rebounded the basketball better in both of those games, maybe you have bigger leads earlier, maybe you're able to hold on to some of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, your defense played pretty well, especially at McNeese in that first half. Coach, they really couldn't hit a shot.
Yeah,
some of them were them, but some of them were your guys playing D.
7 games in a row under 40% from the field in the first half. So we got to just continue. We might have some guys back off injuries to maybe help that this weekend, but got to continue to guard in the first half, and really just we haven't played well enough offensively. Like some of these games, we were up 11, but at McNeese when you're playing that well defensively and you're getting stops and getting rebounds, you got to extend these leads. Because the other team's got really good players, and we're having a hard time scoring enough consistently enough. So, you got to keep doing what we're doing. Guys are getting better at what we're doing. Our team is getting better. I know it doesn't show it on the win-loss record, but we're playing good basketball, and hopefully play even better this weekend and get a chance to play at home and just trying to get a win on Saturday.
Coach, take the McNeese game just as an example. Halftime came out. They obviously had to listen to their coach tell them what they weren't doing very well and how to fix that. And then y'all want to keep going, but how do you battle the changes they make on the fly?
You just got to handle runs. I think, and just human nature. I think there's doubt that creeps in our guys' minds. There's no pressure on us at all right now at this point. So we should go play free, and we need to continue to have voices. The players are the ones that need to have a voice. Obviously, they hear me talking, but these guys need to, believe in one another and just continue to. They're having success doing things that we work on every day, and we just got to continue to trust that and do it for longer periods.
Tell us a little bit about what you expect out of Lamar. Let's start with them. They're the first team up on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, well, we played an overtime game down there. They're going to press every possession, not run and jump or anything like that, but they just want to pick you up full court, make you work in the half court. We got a lot of open looks down there that we did not capitalize on, but we played really well defensively, held them to like 34-35% from the floor. So anytime you're holding somebody under 40%, you got a chance to win. But they did the same thing to us. So we got to play better offense, which I think we will in this building than we did down there. And it's really going to be a turnover. I think that's really going to be the game. Who can create more possessions? We turned them over 17 times last time. We got to continue to try to turn them over and make things tough on them, and then we got to take care of the basketball. That's really where they're having a lot of success, especially in the league, is they're limiting their turnovers, and they're very efficient offensively.
Coach, you mentioned what they've been doing in the league. I can't help but want to talk about how much better this league has gotten overall. 3 years ago, or 2 seasons ago, Southland was at like 29, 30 ranked conferences, picked up a couple of spots last year, but they went from, 28 to 21, isn't it? Or
yeah, it's a lot better. We retained a lot of talent, and brought in a lot of the teams in our league retained a lot of talent, and then brought in additional guys. I think the resources that the schools are adding into their men's basketball program has made it very competitive nationally. And obviously we're not in the top tier, but they're definitely can compare our league, the top 4 or 5 teams in our league, to all the low major plus mid-major programs.
SFA coming back into the fold and UTRGV coming in. Those are 2 programs, especially the Lumberjacks. Just off of their rep, they probably helped lift the water or lift the boat up a little bit.
Yeah, they had a great non-conference schedule. Obviously, they had some stuff go on, and they're not having the year that I think anyone thought they would have. But yeah, two teams again that it's about resource allocation, and two teams that care about men's basketball on their campuses, and the facilities at especially SFA, their practice facility is as nice as any of the ones I've ever been in. Talking about high major or NBA, so we got a lot to fight. We got to promote what's why our place is good, and keep recruiting, and a big piece is for us, and you're seeing all these teams have a lot of success, is retention.
Mm-hmm.
You got to bring back some stability in the program, and then go add talent to that.
I think I was talking to Will Wade about that before the game Saturday down at McNeese, and he's got one guy, shoemate, that's been there longer than he has.
Yeah, but they returned a lot from last year's team.
Yeah.
So, and then they went and added talent. Their best two players aren't even dressing out for them from a talent standpoint. So, they're on a different league. They're a different tier kind of than anybody else in our league. But we got a chance if we have some stability and bring some guys back and add some talent. We feel good about where we're going and where we stack up in the league under those circumstances.
All right, bring them on. All right, folks, the men will be on the floor Saturday afternoon against Lamar. That game at 3 or 3:30?
2:15.
2:15. I never get them. I'm just there, Coach. I'm already there. And then on Monday evening, it'll be a 6:30 tip-off against the Lumberjacks.
You got it.
Can't wait, man. Lions up, everybody.
Go Lions.
Coach, thanks, man. We'll see y'all in just a little bit with more. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Inside Lion Athletics. Charlie Chitwood here still. But now I got a new guest. Joining us now, Brittany Miller, head coach of the Lions softball team that got everything launched last week. And the Lion women, 2 wins. Picked up. You got something against the South. You beat South Dakota and Texas Southern. What's up with that, Coach?
It was a couple good wins for us this weekend.
Yeah, they were.
A lot of good softball played.
For as rough as last year was for y'all to get off on a good foot like this against some caliber competition, that's just really a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exciting. We're obviously a year older. We have several starters back, and so it was a good weekend. It was a good starting block, and excited to grow and build on it this weekend.
We were visiting before we started about, is the pitching ahead of the hitting? What about defense? And pitching and defense sounds like those are what you would be most concerned with not being where they are right now.
No, our pitching came out this last weekend and did a really good job and kept us in the game. And defense, we had some heck of a plays with Emma Rodriguez in center field.
Yeah, Sports Center.
Yeah, she did a good job for us, and our defense played really well this past weekend. Offense came around that last game against Texas Southern when we needed them to come through, and we're just going to keep pushing and keep moving forward.
From the pitcher's perspective, which is what you did when you played, Coach, how do you keep the hitters down on these cold weather games early in the year?
It's always fun to saw them off at the hands, and when it's cold like this, make it sting a little bit and then get them outside.
I can feel that right now.
Yes. And we're going to have some cool weather this week, so we're excited about it.
All right, we talked about your team and the way you're trying to build everything up the middle first. But with center field, seems like you have that part of it locked down fine. How did your second base tandem do, and how'd your catcher do?
Catcher did a really good job. She's a freshman from Georgia. Leah played amazing. I think she was 3 for 3, caught stealing this last week. And our middles were strong and continue to be strong, and we're excited to see where they are this week and continue to work together. Okay,
very good. All right, coming up, Iowa, and who else? Let's see.
Rutgers.
Rutgers, that's the R school,
Yep. Yeah. We've got Rutgers and Iowa both in the Big Ten coming this week. We play them twice each, so exciting to see where we match up. They're fairly young. Rutgers is fairly young. A lot of new faces. We played them a couple years ago, so excited about that one. And then obviously alma mater coming, so that's exciting just to put our kids out there against them and see what we got.
So tell us a little bit about the old playing days at Iowa. You weren't bad.
No, I was all right. It was fun. It was a place where I was able to grow up, which was exciting, and I did pretty well there. So
Yeah? Well, go ahead. You can.
got some records over there,
Yeah.
and
Strikeouts?
games, complete games. I think I got
Throw
4
any
or 5.
no-hitters?
Couple no-hitters. I think 1 perfect game. Yeah. It was all
A
right.
perfecto. Okay, so on the no-nos, did somebody bail you out defensively in either or both of those games? Usually there's always one.
Oh, yeah. We had a solid defense when I was playing. So our shortstop was locked down. We had a good outfield. My catcher was amazing. So, yeah, we're good.
Good stuff. All right, any games stand out that just jumps out? Beating Iowa State, maybe?
Yeah.
Was that the key get every year as a Hawkeye?
Yeah, playing against Michigan, too, is always
Oh, yeah.
top. Yeah,
So who ruled the Big Ten when you were playing?
Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah.
How many times did you knock them off?
A good handful.
Okay.
Good handful.
I love this. And, if we ever had Coach Bustos in here to talk about hitting a little bit, she'd probably have a little talk about as well.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Bustos has been amazing with our hitters, and they've been buying in this year. So it's been exciting to watch them kind of grow. And
Hey, Mirage McDill mic'd up one of your players this
Haley.
week,
Yep,
and
Haley.
I just howled at most of that. And I love the part where you were asked if you could still strike out Coach Bustos, and then she asked Coach Bustos if she thought you could strike her out.
Absolutely not, she said.
So is this going to be an exhibition in between games of a doubleheader coming up soon?
We'll see about that one.
It'd be fun.
It would be fun.
And people
be
like
fun.
to see stuff like that.
They do. We'll
Who's
see.
going to hit my invite pitch?
Right?
Right. Did you
We'll
have
see.
one? You didn't have one of those. Okay. That's all right. We love talking. It's baseball and softball. They're almost the same sport.
Oh, yes.
But we've got softball, and it's at a high level this weekend. So there's a lot of games. When's everything going to start up? Begins on Friday with...
Friday at 2:30 we play Rutgers, and then at 7 we play at Iowa.
Okay.
And then we play Saturday, Sunday, both doubleheaders. And then throughout the week next week. We got Tuesday through Sunday next week.
Man, that's a good reason to have online classes, isn't it?
Yes.
How's your bunch like? When you get a couple of wins that very first week, you're not necessarily a world beater, but you're right there.
Oh, yeah. We're in a good spot, and they're excited about going into this weekend with a lot of confidence, and it's going to be a good weekend.
You look around the Southland Conference yet, seeing how everybody else is coming out of the gates?
Well, a little bit, but at the end of the day, we want our athletes to focus on us, and if we continue to focus on us, we'll be just where we need to be come conference time.
All right. And that's not very far off. It's
No,
just
it's
like
not.
when? March? April? March. March. And we're going to be there for some of that, too.
Yes, we are.
I think we've got the Lions Sports Network bottled up for all the conference games.
I think so.
And wherever you take us afterwards.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. Coach, thanks so much. Lions up, everybody. This has been another episode of Inside Lion Athletics, and we can't wait to do it again next week, but we've got games between now and then. So come see us at the field house or down at the softball field. Go Lions.